Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. My name is Nur Azmira and this is my friend Nur Syahirah. And so today we'll be presenting and debating two important issues under the theme of upholding teacher ethics and governance in the modern classroom. As educators, we believe it crucial to critically examine how teachers action, especially on social media and their presentation, which can impact professionalism, student well-being, and public trust. So we'll be addressing two major concerns and exploring both challenges and responsibilities that come with being an educator in today's digital age. So my friend will present the first issue.
All right, so my name is Shaira, so thank you, Azmira. So for the first issues is about the teacher's attire in school. So in the Malaysian educational context, teachers are held in high regard as moral exemplars and nation builders, entrusted not only with academic instruction, but also with instilling ethical values and discipline in students. The Ministry of Education Malaysia emphasizes professionalism and integrity among educators, including standards related to attire and personal conduct. So in this regard, the appropriateness of teachers' attire in school has become a topic of ongoing debate. While some argue that teachers should dress in a manner that reflects respect for cultural and international norms, especially within Malaysia's diverse multicultural society, others contend that overly rigid dress expectations may restrict personal expression and comfort. So as Malaysia continues to modernize its education system, the question arises, should a teacher's attire be strictly regulated in the name of ethics and professionalism, or should there be room for flexibility and individual identity within the classroom? So today, I stand in firm support of the motion that teachers' attire in school should be regulated. This is not a matter of fashion or personal taste. It is a matter of ethics, professionalism, and the responsibility educators carry as role model within our society, especially within the Malaysian educational setting, where teachers are regarded as moral exemplars and entrusted with shaping the minds and character of the next generation. So firstly, they are not only responsible for delivering academic content, but also for instilling values such as discipline, respect, and self-presentation in their students. So basically, students observe and internationalize their teachers' behavior, language, and appearance. So a teacher who dresses in a professional, modest, and appropriate manner demonstrates the value of self-respect and responsibility, qualities that we want our students to adopt. So on the other hand, a teacher who dresses too casually or inappropriately may unintentionally send the wrong message about what it means to be respectable and professional in the real world. So, Azmira, what do you think of my first point, teacher as a role model? Do you agree with me or not?
Yes, I believe that teachers are role model and students may observe how they dress. But however, teachers' behavior, attitude, and ethic have far greater impact on student than attire alone. So because students remember how teacher treated them, not just what they wore. So I think I partially agree. I agree that teacher is a role model, but I think for about attire, I think we teacher can focus more on how actually they treated the student, okay, behavior, their attitude. So it's not that I neglect about the attire, but I think we can focus on nurturing ethical conduct, like the care, dedication through the professional development rather than the attire alone. Okay, by that teachers can be guided to make attire choices that actually reflect their values. Okay, the values they model.
Mhm.
I think it's still based on the teacher preference.
All
Okay,
right.
because how they want to present themselves in. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Azmira, for your thoughts. All right. Next, secondly, It's the way teachers dress reflects directly on the image and integrity of the school. So in Malaysia, schools are pillars of the community and symbols of shared culture and moral values. So when a teacher's attire is perceived as disrespectful or inappropriate, whether it is too revealing, too flashy, or simply unkept, it can damage the school's reputation in the eyes of parents, the public, and even the Ministry of Education. So I think we cannot afford to ignore that the fact that public trust in a school can be undermined by what may seem like a small matter of personal choice. So for these issues, what do you think about it?
Personally, I don't really think that teachers' attire actually reflect on the school image because it's basically based on someone's personality. So,
Mm-hmm.
however, I think we can that actually can ruin affect the image of the school is more on the teachers' behavior or unethical action. Uh, I like in this digital age,
Mm-hmm.
probably due to their social media, I think it can do more harm to the school image than the attire. But I think we can also implement a clear guideline for both attire and also online conduct or their conduct in school, like emphasizing professionalism across platform.
Agree, agree. Okay. All right. So for the third issues uh, is we must recognize the importance of respecting cultural and social norms. So especially in a multicultural and multi-religious country like our country, Malaysia. So what is acceptable in one context may be offensive in another. For example, sleeveless tops or short skirts may not raise concerns in some culture, but in others, they may be considered inappropriate in a professional or religious setting. So, a dress code ensure that teachers remain sensitive to the diversity of the student body and the broader community, promoting harmony and mutual respect. Correct. Am I correct?
Yeah, I believe
I
so
agree.
because I agree with that. Cultural sensitivity is very important, especially in diverse society like
Mhm,
Malaysia. And for this particular point, I
mhm,
think both for example, we usually most school have mainly from Malay student. I think
mhm.
both Malay teachers and non-Malay teachers must have sort of like what we say, mm, tolerate to each other and respect each other sensitivity, cultural sensitivity. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the next point is that professional attire helps to establish authority and maintain healthy boundaries in the classroom. So the teacher-student relationship must always be grounded in respect and clear boundaries. So when a teacher dresses in a way that appears overly relaxed or trendy, it may blur the lines between professional and personal roles. So students may begin to see their teacher more as a peer than an authority figure, which can weaken discipline, reduce respect, and affect classroom management. So proper attire reinforces a teacher's role as a leader, a mentor, and guardian in the learning environment. So I think that is very important for us. That is why a professional attire in school is really important. What do you think?
Um, I believe that also professional appearance can help set boundaries, but at the same time, I think this point need to be more clear, like with what kind of attire, what kind of clothes that actually make the line a blur between student and the teachers. Okay, because I think it's more need to focus on this. But I also agree that having a professional attire can actually show the gap between teachers and it's not the gap. I think the boundaries between teachers and also the student. But we can see teachers student can see the teachers more more professionally rather than just being only people who just older than them. Yeah.
Correct. All right. So my last point is that attire has a direct impact on the learning atmosphere. So outfits that are too bright, tight, or revealing can become a distraction for the students, especially adolescents. So this can disrupt focus and shift attention away from learning. So a consistent, modest, and professional dress code minimize this distraction and keep students' attention where it belongs, particularly on their education. So, ladies and gentlemen, the regulation of teacher attire is not about micromanaging or policing personal choices, but it's about safeguarding the values, trust, and integrity of the educational system. It is about ensuring that educators embody the same respect, discipline, and professionalism that they seek to instill in their students. So let us not forget that when a teacher walks into a classroom, they are just not representing themselves, but they are also representing the school, the profession, and society's expectation. And in doing so, they must uphold a standard of conduct and appearance that commands respect, protects command respect, protect students, and honor the noble calling of teaching. So I hope this clears the first issues. Why I stand firm that teachers' attire in school is very important. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shaira, for your presentation on the first issue. Okay, I believe there are some issues that we need to uh, take it, and I think the government or the school need to implement or like the guidelines for it. Okay, back for the second issue. I will present on the second issue, which is teachers' activity on social media. Because nowadays we live in the digital age where social media is not something far away from. It's not something or not ordinary or extraordinary. It's basically everyone has social media nowadays. So teacher who post personal, inappropriate or controversial content, especially involving student reads, are breaching both ethical standard and also the legal boundaries. Instances of teachers sharing student photos or video without consent, which violate the Personal Data Protection Act. Okay, and may also breach school policies and on data privacy. Furthermore, sharing insensitive jokes, political opinions, or engaging in online arguments, which can actually damage the teacher's image and the integrity of the profession. And so, upholding ethics on social media involves self-regulation, clear boundaries, and strong understanding of legal institutional expectations. So, I believe a teacher's activities on social media need to be I think like need to be discussed on like they have the teachers need sort of guidelines on that. Okay, our school or government need to really focus on this particular issue. Okay, well, my first point is teachers as digital role model. It's kind of similar to Shaira mentioned that teacher is a role model, but also teacher is a digital role model. So whatever teachers do in social media, in digital platform, they can actually affect their presentation to the student because teachers are often observed not just in school but also online. Okay, what they post, comment, photos, videos, especially nowadays, many content creator or many teachers have become content creator and make their teacher characteristic as their character in the social media, which actually can influence how student, parents, the community view their character and professionalism. So if they portray themselves as somewhat negative, showing that it can actually cause of misrepresentation. So when teacher, for example, when teacher posts insensitive joke, political opinion, or personal content that may be seen as inappropriate, it actually damage their image as role model. Okay, student may actually mimic poor behavior, and parent may question the teacher's value and influence. Especially, I think it's more critical if the student if their student okay, watch their video, watch their contents, and then they was like, oh, our teacher can do this, why not us? Okay, I think especially for school students, basically they are still considered children. So they still basically for the usage of social media, it has sort of like age restriction. It's not age. They need basically need to a certain age. Okay, most students in Malaysia actually illegally using social media. Okay, they lying about their age, for example. Okay, so it can be something, it can be a concern that teachers or government need to focus on. Okay, when teach, especially nowadays we do have TikTok. Okay, so many teachers are now join viral trend or post unprofessional content, and then it kind of give them a mixed messages to student about values and behavior, right? So for classroom, I think it actually impacts student as student may actually lose respect. For example, there are certain trend. There's certain a trend that, for example, that trend is negatively viewed, and the teachers do the trend. So student may actually lose respect for the teachers. Okay, in which leading to discipline issue or lack of classroom authority. The teacher, because the student no longer find the teacher as someone as role model rather than a normal person who do the unethical thing, for example. So it 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 can be hard for a teacher to actually manage the classroom. Okay, and also create less serious, more casual classroom culture where students may not take learning or rule seriously. So what do you think, Shahira, about this topic?
I
About
think
this
I
topic?
think some of us might agree that teachers are role models, but limiting their online presence to a purely professional package risks creating an unattainable and an inauthentic image. So basically, most of the students right now are savvy digital native who appreciate transparency and relatability. So when teachers share appropriate aspect of their life and interests online, it can humanize them. Basically, it can foster stronger connection with the students. So basically, I think this can lead to improved communication and a more approachable learning environment. But the fear of misinterpretation through insensitive jokes or personal content can be addressed through education and the development of professional guidelines rather than outright discouragement of online presence. So just as teachers are expected to conduct themselves professionally in person, so they can learn to navigate the nuances of online communication responsibly. So basically like a single misinterpreted post should not overshadow the potential for positive engagement and connection. So basically, if the teachers equipped with this kind of skill, so basically it can enhance uh, the 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 student and teacher relationship and potentially improve classroom engagement. That's what I think.
Oh, it's good to hear another perspective.
Mhm.
But I think both of us agree that teachers might need to find a suitable content, not just
Right.
follow just whatever trend that's happening in the nowadays. Okay.
And then the teachers need to follow certain law, right? Not to violate the law lah, so that the student is remain confidential.
Yeah, agree.
Uh,
Okay. And for the next point, ethical consent with student content, okay, like sharing image, videos, or stories about student online without consent may violate student privacy and dignity, which this can raise ethical question about respect, confidentiality, and also informed consent. Okay, because some teachers can post photos or videos of students during class activities or even without consent. Okay, thinking basically they will think it's harmless, but however, this basically invades student privacy and can embarrass or endanger the student, especially if the contents
mhm.
spread beyond intended audience. Okay, we don't know who actually watch or see our post. Okay, and it can violate the ethical principle of protecting student dignity and confidentiality. Okay, like posting stories or personal details about student, even if anonymous, it actually can embarrass them or make them feel unsafe because some of students, some of their friends actually know, okay, this is my teachers, and I know this teacher is talking about this particular student, even though the teachers did not show the pictures or the name of the student. So I think what it can actually affect, okay, student in the a student actually can may feel anxious, like they feel like they are exposed, and also they can be unwilling to participate in class, okay, because this kind of breaks down the safe and respectful learning environment, which is crucial for open communication and student growth. I think so it basically can reach sort of like breach of trust. Okay, students have trusted these teachers, but this teacher has violated by sharing about um their I mean their stories. For example, like nowadays we have the teachers trend. Okay,
Yeah.
what can you hurt you? Okay, when teachers saying like this, like
Mhm.
even though it's not it doesn't seem any harm, but it's, I mean, like actually expose what kind of the student in that particular teacher school. So I think it kind of give the bad image, like, oh, teachers are like to expose about their student negative activity or whatever bad things about their student. Okay, so they kind of like people will have sort of like nowadays teacher cannot be trusted because they will post everything on social media.
Mhm. But Mira, the
Yeah.
concern about sharing student without consent is valid. And it must be taken seriously. But however, social media can be powerful tool for showcasing students' achievement, celebrating classroom successes, and engaging parents in their children's learning journey. But so instead of avoiding sharing altogether, the focus should be on obtaining explicit informed consent from parents or guardian for any content featuring the student. That's what I think, because my school have been doing this. So we ask the parents or the guardian to fill up the form, basically um agree that their child uh, to be recorded. But so because I think sharing can be done in a way that protects student anonymity while still highlighting positive learning experience. Because educational institutions can provide clear guidelines and consent form to ensure ethical practices are followed. Because there are a lot of benefits of showcasing the vibrant learning environment within a school, which it can outweigh the risk when proper protocols are in place. So basically, the responsibility of sharing student content can enhance school-home communication. It also could help celebrate student achievement, and it also provide valuable insights into the learning process. I think your point is right, but we can amend some so that it could be done in a proper way.
Yeah, I agree with some of your points that basically is actually relates to my next point, okay,
Oh.
which is legal boundaries PDPA, 2010. But however, what I want to say is that for the second point is that when teachers overshare or often share or overshare about their student life, about their school life, it actually causes a breach of trust, even though they may not really, I mean, not really post about negative thing, but when they are often share, it's kind of have this is like it costs like I've mentioned earlier, like misrepresentation, breach of trust. Like the parent, the student might not confidently trust the teachers because they believe like the teachers often post on social media. But I agree with you that it's also like posting the achievement might actually help the student as well.
Mhm.
And so for my third point is legal boundaries PDPA, okay, where teachers must understand and comply with laws like the Personal Data Protection Act, which protects individual personal information, including students. Violating this act can actually result in legal consequences because for I think this might be can be more focused on primary school because they're kids. But actually, as I as I mentioned earlier, even all students actually can be considered children, even they are secondary school. In the secondary school, so there are teacher who actually like posting student name or image, or they actually like for example taking pictures together with their student and post it. Okay, it's actually taking selfie with their student. They may think like it's just their friend, but without they realize they actually have um actually has violate the Personal Data Protection Act, which is can be quite concerning. Okay, and because if the student, for example, if one of the students actually dislike this kind of thing, they can actually take a legal action to that. So so because let's say many teachers are unaware that even classroom selfie with student in the background could actually result in legal action or disciplinary measure if consent wasn't obtained. So like I like the approach that you have mentioned, like we ask like the parents to give consent, right? Like up all yeah, so uploading student image or videos without consent, which can risk privacy violation and litigation under PDPA. So, and what actually it can affect to the classrooms, like parents may lose trust in the school, so they may feel vulnerable, or it can actually damage relationship between home school and may actually cause distraction, okay, fear, or even withdrawal from the school activities. For example, if teacher, there is a case where teacher exposed the student, for example, right?
Yeah.
So it can cause student might feel like their privacy has been violated, right? I think this relate to your second point. Your second point.
I agree with you with this point because I think schools and educational bodies have to have a responsibility to provide comprehensive training to teachers on data privacy, consent procedure, and responsible digital citizenship. So by understanding the legal boundaries, this could empower teachers to use social media safely, right? And ethically. So fear of potential violation should drive education and the implementation of clear guidelines and not the suppression of online engagement. So many platforms also offer privacy setting and features that can help teachers control the visibility of their content. So basically, with proper training and clear guidelines, teachers can navigate the legal landscape of online data protection effectively, which could allow for responsible use of social media. So I think yes, a very good point there, Mira.
Yeah. Okay, number four, impact on school and public trust, which can actually lead to reputational damage. Okay, so inappropriate or controversial content from teachers' social media account can actually damage the reputation of the school, reduce public trust in educators, and lead to disciplinary action from school authorities. So, like unprofessional behavior online, that just doesn't just reflect on the teacher only, but also reflect on the entire school, especially when people know where the teacher goes. Then a controversial post can attract public criticism, like media attention and backlash from the community, harming the school image and weakening public trust in educator as a whole. Because for example, when one teacher actually posts one video, usually people don't attract like, okay, this particular name, then this. No, they usually the headline will be, this teacher will do this. Like, so it basically reflect, I think not just the school, but the whole body of teacher can actually affected by that. Okay. So it's, and for the classroom, it can harm a school reputation and may result in tighter restriction and student and staff. Okay, and then it can actually creating more tense and overly controlled school environment because of this. So it can give more like negative impact. Okay, and student may also feel ashamed of being associated with that teacher or school. Yeah, it can actually ruin image, damage. Like remember, like when we upload something on, we post something on social media, it lasts forever. Even though we have deleted, there's still there's somewhere actually it can be bringing up. Okay, because nowadays people can download it, can
Mhm.
screen record it. So it so whatever activity to post on social media need to be need careful attention. Okay, need careful consideration, right?
Yes, I agree with you because this is go back to the legal boundaries just now. So basically, a well-managed online presence can foster transparency, right? Which can build community engagement and enhance public trust in the school and its educators. So basically, after all, we need to follow the school's code of ethics, right? So that we can build the trust through transparency.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and the last one would be professionalism in the digital age. Okay, being a teacher today requires managing both real world and digital conduct, upholding ethics online, involve thinking critically before posting. Like I mentioned earlier, setting privacy boundaries, and avoiding content that actually contradict professional values. Okay, to avoid this, a lack of boundary. Okay, actually quite similar to your points earlier. Okay, many teachers blur the line between personal and professional life on social media, sharing too much, engaging in argument, or displaying inappropriate behavior online, which actually can show a lack of self-regulation. Okay, this undermines professional credibility, in which could lead to suspension, warning, or even job termination. It just also affect to the teacher, like, okay, teacher who don't manage their online behavior may blur personal and professional lines. Okay, it can affect classroom management, like as student may see the teacher as just another online personality rather than a mentor. Okay, so it can weaken the teacher's ability to enforce rule, to maintain respect, and build a focused academic space. Yeah.
But you know, nowadays some students are likely to find their teachers online regardless of their efforts to remain private.
Yeah, I know that because
So yeah, so instead of discourage the personal expression, so the focus should be on fostering digital literacy and responsible online behavior among teachers, right? So basically, I think we while acknowledging the potential risks associated with teachers' social media activities, we also argue that this risk can be effectively managed through education, clear guidelines, and a focus on responsible digital citizenship. Because social media could offer valuable opportunities for teachers to connect with students and engage with parents, and also enhance their professional development and showcase the positive aspects of education. So I think instead of viewing social media as a threat, we should empower teachers to use these platforms responsibly and ethically, while recognizing their potential to enrich the educational experience and strengthen the connection between educators and students and the wider community. That's what I think.
okay. Personally, I don't really on the favor of teacher using social media, especially when they portray themselves as teachers in the social media.
Mm-hmm.
But I also agree with some of your topic of some your point that saying that actually social media can help like student teacher student relationship, and then for the help them like in the classroom, for example. But again, I think it's back to the how actually teacher being ethical in the social media and what kind of content they choose to do, what kind of thing they choose to portray themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's back to that. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I think government or school need a clear guidelines about this,
Yes.
and or not just clear guideline, but need to emphasize and
Mm.
actually implement the guideline. Because I think back to your first issue, like the
Yeah.
attire, for example, Okay,
Yeah.
previously government has provided attire, but
Yes,
some
correct.
school actually doesn't really take the implementation, like the guideline
Correct.
seriously.
Correct.
They do more on, they're very lenient on the
Yeah.
way teachers. Okay,
Yeah.
even though I don't really think that clothing actually play and like a major role, but I think but I also agree with some of your topic points. Yeah.
Mhm,
So in conclusion, we can say that
mhm,
upholding teachers' ethic and
mhm.
governance in the modern classroom actually require awareness and
Yes.
responsibility in both like appearance, behavior, like offline or online. Okay,
Yes.
a teacher's attire should reflect a professionalism and
Yes.
set a positive example, while their social media activity must align with ethical standard, protect student privacy, and maintain public trust. Okay, as educator, is our duty like to carry ourselves with integrity at all time,
Yes.
because our action, no matter how small, okay, it can
Mhm,
actually can have a lasting impact on our
mhm.
student and the school community.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
I think that's the end of our discussion. Okay,
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mira.
okay, thank you, Sarah. Okay, okay.